Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So I wanted to talk about Rick and Alicia because I saw an article here from Screen Rant that actually discussed certain ideas with the two characters, and I wanted to get my thoughts on it because I found it kind of interesting. And I actually do think if it's possible, I would honestly would love Alicia to be on The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. Obviously, if The Ones Who Live is just one season and that is it, they're done next, I guess it won't be next February, they're done, they'll probably be done in like end of March, early April or something, but if that's it and Rick and Michonne's story's over, then we're saying goodbye to them next spring and like that is it, then, obviously this couldn't happen, but if there is that opportunity where we could see a season 2 and maybe it takes a couple years to be made or whatever, they're not going to make it like a regular TV show. Maybe they're still sticking with the whole limited series thing, right? So we'll get a part 2 to it. Like I could see them doing that because Loki got a season 2. It was announced as a limited series. It got a season 2, but now it seems like Loki is just done. It's not going to be getting a third season. So Rick and Michonne could do the same thing. And I would really like Alicia to actually be on that show. I think Alicia could actually work really, really well. And this article here doesn't really talk about that necessarily, but there's some ideas that are thrown here. So I just want to kind of discuss some of that. So before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. Also, make sure to go follow me on Twitch because The Walking Dead Destinies is now officially out. So I will be streaming that later on today. I'm actually going to be playing it on PlayStation 5. So I got to like set up some stuff here. I do have all the equipment to set up the stream. So once this video is live, I'm going to be setting all that stuff up. Actually, I'll probably be doing it sort of throughout, and yeah, definitely go follow. Like I will be streaming at some point in the next couple of hours once this video is released. I literally might be streaming when the video is released, so I don't really know what time I'm going to be streaming necessarily. I want to get a lot of gameplay in with this game. Like I really want to get through quite a bit, so I'm gonna have to figure out everything here in terms of like, yeah, I guess I just gotta set up myself to be able to stream for a while because I really want to get very far in this game. I will be uploading the content and stuff on the main channel here, but it's most likely going to be edited down. I could do just like the whole entire sort of stream and just upload that here, but I'm not entirely sure what my plan is. Actually, that would be a good question for you guys. Would you guys want like 2 to 3 hour videos kind of thing of me playing this game, or would you prefer just like 20 to 30 minute videos kind of thing on like, I don't know, just making it like episode 1, episode 2, and then releasing them like every single day kind of thing? I'd obviously still have my normal videos, but still just having that there. And maybe each episode could have some sort of like theme to it sort of thing. Like, oh, in this episode, I made Shane kill Rick, or in this one here, I chose Daryl to die or something like that, right? So yeah, it's a very big day to be a Walking Dead fan. It's the first game by AMC, and I know that there's some issues with it. I know people have criticized a lot of stuff about it, but I really feel like this game was really made to just sort of test the waters. Like, could we do a game like this? It's not a AAA game in any way. I think they just wanted to see, like, would there be some interest here? And so if there's a lot of interest, and if they can see the criticisms and then like work on that for a second game, if they're going to make that, then that would be amazing, because I think we would all want a seasons 5 to like 8, and then get a third game that would be like seasons 9 to 11, right? Telling the entire story. It would be cool if they can like keep your decisions that you made from previous games, or do something like that. But yeah, anyways, I'm just excited for like some of the story elements here. I just want to see how things change overall and just like what it's like when certain characters die or whatever. But anyways, yeah, let's get into this article here. So this article is from Screen Rant. Again, I'll leave a link down below to the article if you want to read the whole entire thing here. Like the headline here reads, "The Walking Dead proves Rick Grimes isn't the franchise's most famous survivor, like in universe." And it acknowledges that obviously Rick Grimes is the most like fan favorite. Obviously, like fans love Rick Grimes. He is the most popular character. I mean, I would say that's kind of debatable. It's a very debatable thing, I would say. Rick Grimes, his story feels very important and a lot of people love that character, but it really feels like the main reason is because the character is gone. Like, could you imagine if it was the other way around and Rick was still on the show the entire time, but Daryl left? Like, Daryl left at some point early on in season 9, and he's been gone the entire time. And then they announced a Daryl spinoff or something like that, or a Daryl movie. Like, how would people feel about the character then? Because Daryl did get more popular than Rick, right? Negan actually at one point was more popular than both of them. So it's kind of hard to say. Right now, the excitement is for Rick Grimes because of this television show coming out. And people want to see more from the character because there's just something about Rick that obviously people really love, and he's the biggest fan favorite character. But I guess in the overall, like, you know, in the world of The Walking Dead, this article I guess makes the argument that Alicia is technically that, which I found very interesting. Like, I actually mentioned this the other day, how I thought it was so silly that Alicia had like this fan club basically, right? Like, the new group on Fear the Walking Dead, very obviously appreciative of just like meeting Alicia and how much she helped them, but they've also sort of just adopted their lives based off of how she lived. Like, they dress like her, they're using that same sort of vehicle. It could be the same vehicle, or maybe it's a different one. I don't know. But in a way, Alicia has been pretty, I would say, influential to a lot of people, right? And Rick has had his own people, obviously, in Alexandria, but it seems like Alicia has had a lot more impact overall in the Walking Dead universe. And out of all the characters, I mean, it seems like she probably is like the one that is probably the most impactful. Now, obviously, that can change really fast. And I think the article here also acknowledges that too. Like, there's the Civic Republic, right? The CRM. If Rick defeats the CRM, and Michonne as well, if they both defeat the CRM, they're both going to be legends, right? Because that is something that is just so insane. It's going to help so many people out. That place is 200,000 strong. I know some aspects to it are really good, but the military seems very, very corrupt and is really, I think, messing up that place really bad. And so if Rick and Michonne can fix that place to the 200,000 people there, to people in the surrounding areas, they're going to be like, well, this place was like this before, but Rick Grimes and Michonne Grimes, you know, they fixed this whole thing and they would be legends. So in that way, right away, they would obviously have like way more influence in that way. And I still want the Rick statue. Like, the Rick statue happened in the comic. I want that. I really do want that. And that's why I think season one, I think the ones who live can't be just one season. There's not enough time to tell this epic story here. Like, you need 3 seasons for sure. 3 seasons, and you can do so much with that. 2 seasons, if you just want to do that, I think maybe you can do the same thing with that. But like, I think 3 seasons would be so perfect. Like, the first season, you're introducing the threat. You're getting into, you know, the reunion with Rick and Michonne. You're getting them together. You're introducing this whole thing here. The second part, you get into some more conflict. Maybe Morgan or other characters show up and you start to get into some really cool things there. And then the final chapter, the third chapter, would close everything. Maybe Major General Beale dies there. Some other crazy stuff. Maybe Rick actually dies in that third part. And then, you know, then he gets his statue, right? That would be so insane. And in a way, like, that would be the best way to tell the entire story. And I think people would be so excited about that. But like, we'll have to just, we'll have to wait and see on that. And that's what's kind of insane about this whole situation is like, Rick is like the most, well, I guess for fans, like, people have always viewed him as like, he's the most influential among everyone. Like, everyone talks about Rick, right? Because going back to season 1, like, yeah, obviously he was their leader. Rick led them all the way from basically Atlanta all the way to where they are now, right? And so there's so much respect there that comes with that. There's a lot of people that just really value who Rick is because of that. But if you just look at the people he's helped, it's a small place. It's a small community compared to Alicia. She's actually been out there for a long time helping hundreds and hundreds of people, right? So I get the argument there that Rick, I guess he's not as, you know, influential in the Walking Dead universe as Alicia is, though I think that's going to change right away with this new show, because dealing with the CRM, I mean, that's totally different. Alicia's never dealt with anything like the Civic Republic, or the Civic Republic military anyways, and I think it would just be kind of cool to have these two characters on the show, and it's actually kind of interesting to look at Fear the Walking Dead in that way, because when the show originally started, Alicia was the least of any of the characters that was like really popular or anything at all. Like, people liked Madison, and then people liked Nick, and then people liked Strand as well. Like, Alicia out of the Clark family wasn't thought of as like a leader in any way, and that has changed so much throughout the years. And look at her now. I would say she is way more popular than Nick ever was, than Madison really ever was, or maybe they're kind of on par. I don't know. I do prefer Alicia as a character over Madison though, for sure. So I would really like to have Alicia come back to the show in any way. I think she could work on the ones who live. Like, you know, obviously not a season 1, but in a season 2, I could see how a story like that could work, because of not just to have those two characters together for the sake of having them together, which is still okay, by the way. Like, that's why you do crossover events. Like, it's just to make things more exciting, right? But I just think with who the character is, and her skills just in general, I think could actually really work well. And I would really like to see that. I think there's a big story that you could tell there, and it would just be kind of cool to see Alicia interacting with Michonne, Rick, and I guess Jadis, right? Because Jadis would be there. So yeah, I think it would be a really cool idea. Like doing something like that, you can actually have, the fear characters matter in that way. And maybe that's how they get around the fact that, like, because that's the thing. What if Alicia doesn't show up in the last 2 episodes here, right? She could just show up literally in like, she could just like, I don't know. Then again, I do think she is probably still going to show up just because I saw a synopsis somewhere and I don't even know if it's fake. It could literally just be fake, but I saw something somewhere where it said like, they're going through all of this, but then there's an unexpected hero. So I'm like, wait, who's that? Is that Alicia? Like, obviously I have no idea, but it's just very, very interesting, the whole thing. And I'm really wondering where they're going next. Like, The Walking Dead is in a very interesting place because they have a lot of paths here, right? Like, they could just end everything. Like, they could just be like, nope, Rick and Michonne story, that's it. 6 episodes, we're done. Fear the Walking Dead, all those characters, Madison and Alicia and all that, we're done. So basically, they're closing the door on all of that. Morgan, he's out there, whatever, but he's done. And now we're just focusing on Dead City and Daryl Dixon, and that is it, right? Like, to me, that's why I don't really believe that entirely. I will say, I think they're going to focus on quality content, though, going forward, because I think they've seen the reactions to Dead City and Daryl Dixon. I think they're like, you know what? If we keep putting out quality content like that, people will keep watching because those shows were so phenomenal. Like Daryl Dixon was so good. The whole Varian Walker thing, like getting into some of the story like that, introducing that in the best way that you could, and it just honestly, it was really like astounding seeing how they handled the whole like Varian Walker thing, because you like years ago, like if you would have brought that up, people would have laughed and been like, no, you can't do that on The Walking Dead. But they did it in such a way where it just made sense. It was just so fascinating the entire time, and it was so cool to see Daryl, and I feel like a part of it is the characters as well. The Walking Dead's characters are so well done. And I think the characters really ground every situation that they're in. And as long as the writing can also sort of add to it a little bit, it's going to work no matter what. And so when you see Daryl just sort of, again, he's a very grounding character in general. When you see him reacting to those walkers, he does it in a way where it's not so sci-fi like. Like he does really bring it down where it still feels like a horror film kind of thing, or a horror TV show, right? And so our reaction ends up being a little bit more genuine because it's just like, whoa, what is this, right? And yeah, so I'm just interested in where they're going because they have a lot of places that they can go here. Like getting Dwight on Dead City, Alicia, if she were to go to The Ones Who Live, maybe with Madison, or I don't know. Even if you were to get some of those characters onto like or Daryl Dixon, people want to see these characters in these spinoffs. People are really willing to like watch these characters on those shows. And I wonder if it's one of those things where they know that, but they don't want to do it right away. Like they want to wait maybe like until season 2 or 3 and then create that excitement, right? Just to sort of like extend it a little bit, not just do it right away, because then you don't really have anything else to do at that point. But we'll have to wait and see, I guess. Like, I think that some of the characters are going to be like that's my thing. Do I see in the next year, basically, them being like, yeah, we're going to have these 2 characters go to The Ones Who Live, these 2 characters go to Dead City, and these 2 characters go to Daryl Dixon. Like, they're not going to do that. If anything, it's going to be 1 or 2 characters that ends up on one of the spinoffs, and it'll probably happen mostly in season 3, though in season 2, like next year, we could get a tease of it at the end, right? So anyways, yeah, I just wanted to talk about this here because I thought this article was kind of interesting, comparing Rick and Alicia as leaders in general, and then just kind of, could they actually be like on a show together? And I think it would be actually really cool to see both of those worlds collide in this way, because it's like we saw Morgan on that show, yeah, but it's just different to have a Fear the Walking Dead character go to something Walking Dead related. Having a Walking Dead character go to Fear, it's just not the same. Like doing that, it feels a little off. It's just like you're almost downgrading the characters, if that makes sense. But if you have the Fear characters go to the Walking Dead or like those spinoffs, right? Like, I don't know, there's just something a little bit more special about that. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it here. Definitely post all your thoughts down below. Go follow me on Twitch. I will be streaming The Walking Dead Destinies very, very soon. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.